Welcome everyone to episode 32 of Universally Speaking. What are we going to talk about for Lord of the Rings?
Everything.
So we're all big Lord of the Rings fans.
Yes. What's your favourite Lord of the Rings film? Let's not include The Hobbit, because we'll talk about The Hobbit later, and...
As a film or as a book?
Both.
I don't know if it's a confession, but in terms of the books, I didn't ever finish Return of the King. I read the other two.
That's fair enough, because it took me like 3 months to read those books, and usually it takes me days to read
I thought Return of the King was actually like easiest to read, probably.
Do you know what it was? It was because, you know, in the books at the end of Two Towers, obviously the film chronology is like not different, but they cut into it, don't they? It's like the end of the bit with Shelob is at the end of Two Towers. When he realises Frodo's still alive, Sam doesn't he? Right at the end. Yeah. And then it's not until later on I think it might even be the second half of Return of the King where you find out what happens with...
Yeah, because I found the first one the easiest to read just because there wasn't that.
Yeah.
Because they all,
it's all together.
Stayed together.
This is the thing. When that happened, because that was such a cliffhanger for me, I couldn't be asked to read through the book to find out what happened. Yeah. So I just kind of gave up because I thought, I don't want to skip the book, so I'd never do that. But I want to know so bad what happened. It was too good that I couldn't wait that long to find out what happened. And it was only because like every now I skimmed through at the beginning of the chat, is there anything about Sam Frodo? No. Is there anything about Sam? No. And I thought, I can't wait half a book to see what happens. Because I think the next story is something, it's supposed to be about Pippin and Merry. And it just didn't have enough for me to want... I just didn't get into it again. I think because I had all the books ready to read it. As soon as I finished that, I was like, right, read the next one. But I love the books apart from that.
What's your favourite film? Out of Lord of the Rings, what's your favourite film?
It's 1 or 2, not 3. Because I thought 3 was good, but I just thought how it ends is a bit anticlimactic in a way for me.
See, I really
the battle doesn't happen right at the end.
Yeah, it does.
Well, when he's going to fight them, and then it all just stops, doesn't it? Because he throws the ring. That last bit where they all think they're going to die.
Yeah.
And I was kind of expecting...
The battle's not as good as the Two Towers battle.
No, that's it.
No, the Two Towers battle is the epitome of movie battles.
With that big pig orc thing. Or is it? Oh no, that might even be in the third one. Actually,
that's in the third one. Okay, the second one's with the Uruk-hai when the Uruk-hai march on.
And the kids have to fight and all that because
it's so
that's great,
good.
Yeah.
It's
at night and it's raining.
Because there's loads of stories from the actors because the actors were there for like 3 months and they were all like pale and they're New Zealanders, so they're all normally really well tanned.
Yeah.
But they were like all really pale. They were all really tired. Like they were constantly getting sprayed with water, but they were like in it just to punch each other.
Yeah.
It was so like because the whole bit, you know, where the Uruk-hai are lined up and they all start chanting and that wasn't in the script.
What were they chanting?
They were doing a haka. They were doing a haka.
Gonna suck a dick.
But like, they were doing that. But yeah, apparently it just started with like one of the Uruks hurling abuse at one of the elves on the wall, so they held it back, and then like they all just got involved, and like the film crew just went, oh shit, better film this. And then they were filming it, but they had to stop it because they started like flipping each other off.
There's got to be some background where you see it all doing that.
Someone turns around.
Doing that.
Someone turns around, shoots a prolapse out, punches it back in.
Didn't they use the New Zealand Army for a lot of it as well? For like
they did a lot. Yeah, did a lot of, and especially in the third film with the battle right at the end in front of it was an army training ground with bombs where they usually...
Oh, really?
So, like, they had members of the army going around going, oh, we just got to check this area and make sure there's no undetonated bombs.
That would be great if one went off and they kept it, like, say, Private Ryan, just kept it in the footage or something.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Just as Aragorn's ready for it, Gandalf gets blown up. Just his leg.
And then they'd have to do CGI Ian McKellen for the rest of them.
Imagine if they said, look, if any of the cast die in front of you, just call them by their character name. Don't scream Viggo. Scream Aragorn. And
we'll CGI them for the rest of the film. Just even
if you say
on that
Aragorn died, get a fucking ambulance.
We'll write time travel into it. Just say the name right.
Yeah, because they had just great decisions on that film, like stuff like that, going to actual sets, which made Lord of the Rings so good.
And the thing is, they all became so close as well.
Yeah, I love
the bromances and stuff.
Yeah, I watched the extras. It's the only extras in a film series where I've watched it more than once, and it's like 10, 20 hours of additional stuff.
I love the whole thing about the miniatures that were so big they called them bigatures. Yeah.
Like, it was such a pioneer thing because they invented Massive for it as well, which was an animation program that allows you to do armies.
Oh,
like,
right.
so you can, each individual figure animates by itself and reacts by itself. And they've used it in loads of films like The Dark Knight and any film where you see like massive amount of people. They use that software.
So like as well, so technically as well, motion capture. They were like the pioneers of it.
Andy Serkis. So Andy Serkis.
It's weird how he's an actual actor in his own right, but he seems to get all the motion capture parts.
Well, he was originally cast just for the voice. They were just going to animate. If you watch the first one, where you first see Gollum in the Mines of Moria, that's how he was meant to be.
What, when you just see him briefly?
Yeah, when you see him briefly. That's how he was meant to be. Andy Serkis sent in video footage of himself pretending to be Gollum, and he mimicked his cat. Because his cat had been coughing up a furball, and he took that noise and went,
Weren't they also going to like overdub him as well?
Yeah, absolutely. But then
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Give me the ring, Frodo. But yeah, and then Peter Jackson saw the footage and went, "No, we've got to get this guy in."
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
they flew him in, and so many last minute decisions that saved that film. Like Viggo Mortensen wasn't originally Aragorn. Sean Connery was meant to be Gandalf.
We've talked about that one before.
Yeah, which is
Imagine they overdubbed Gollum with Nicolas Cage.
My precious.
Filthy hobbitses!
Apparently every film he's in has to have a reference to Elvis Presley, so that would have been tough to get into it. Because he's such a big Elvis fan, apparently. You know, with you saying about like he came up with like Andy Serkis did his own thing for it. On a sort of similar note, I heard that Emma Thompson, who was Professor Trelawney in Harry Potter, apparently she turned up with drawings she'd done of her version of Trelawney. Was like, I want this part. And she drawn. So what that character looks is basically her going like, look, I've drawn everything. Let me have the part. I've designed everything. I want this part. Apparently.
Yeah, it was the same in Harry Potter with who was the one in pink?
Hermione?
No, the teacher. The head
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Yeah.
She was the same.
Brilliant,
When she turned up on set, she was like, everything needs to be pink. Everything.
It's perfect.
Needs to be pink.
Yeah, it works.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I am this character. I will do this.
I love her little squeak she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one book where I was sitting there reading the book, clenching the book, like, you bitch.
I bet she's a filthy bitch as well. Does that little squeak right at the end.
She's got the same thing with a dildo, but every time her husband does it with a dildo, it does him.
In terms of Lord of the Rings, I just, like I say, it's those last minute decisions they made. Like I say, Viggo Mortensen wasn't meant to be Aragorn. And it's like, I couldn't imagine the other guy, because it was the guy who played Dorian Gray.
No.
In
in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
It was meant to be him, and apparently he was too young.
Viggo's got that look though, hasn't he? Like, you know that.
Yeah, and he's like, if you watch the extras, he's like genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah, and didn't he like learn sword fighting in his own time or something to actually?
Yeah, because he almost got arrested.
Did he?
Because he had just finished his sword training and he carried it around with him at all times. And he was walking down the street practicing, just like in his own world, just swinging his sword around, and apparently like loads of cop cars just surrounded him. And he was like,
yeah, he doesn't live in New York. It had been around the time of 9/11, so.
No, this was in New Zealand.
Oh really?
Like,
Okay.
He'd just finished sword practice and he came out and he was just swinging it about and the sword as well.
To impress a cheer, helicopter dick.
For me, I think Two Towers is probably the best one. But just the fact of, because I was saying the fact that I said him on the podcast, me and my dad used to chat to each other for hours about who would play who, and actually seeing it for the first time on Fellowship all actually happen, and you see the characters, that was so exciting.
Yeah.
That I think that had the most impact for me, because it's kind of like, you're not sure what to expect at all. You hear about this massive book being made into the film, and I don't feel I really saw, apart from when I went to the musical thing that I said about, the music recordings, like, I didn't really see much of the film, so seeing it in front of you is like, this is it, this is what's going to happen, and none of it feels like, no, that's shit, it's just like, these people are perfect for it.
Yeah, it's in my mind the most perfectly cast films.
Yeah, there's no one that you would change.
There's no one I'd change.
Apart from maybe put Nicolas Cage in there just somewhere.
Just somewhere.
Just maybe his Samwise just like, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was like it was Sean Connery if he was in it as well as Gandalf.
Yeah.
Like since The Rock, the next film they meet up in is Lord of the Rings.
Just want to find some fucking
Like,
rockets.
yeah, I would say Two Towers is my favourite as well, just because it's the most tightly knit of the three films.
Yeah.
Like, there's very few slow moments.
Fellowship's a lot about introduction.
Yeah,
And
introduction,
apart from the
building
battle
up.
in the forest, there's not really a massive thing.
For me, it's Fellowship. I still get chills that with the battle in the forest bit and the Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Doing what Sean Bean does.
Yeah. What he does best.
What a northern accent.
Yeah.
Sucking Aragorn's dick.
Yeah.
What is it that Aragorn and Sean Bean say about like being brothers?
No, it wasn't Aragorn.
That's Legolas and Gimli, isn't it?
No, it was what? As in
Aragorn and Boromir. Yeah.
Oh right, when he's dying,
Yeah.
and he goes, "I would have followed you, my king,
Yeah.
my brother."
We were brothers, Anakin. That's what he says.
You are the chosen one.
No, it's not true. That's impossible. That's how.
Have you seen the photo someone's done of like, you know, when they say about like when Luke goes to Obi-Wan, he goes Ben Kenobi, and he goes, I'm looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he goes, that's a name I haven't heard for a long time. There's clips of him going, that's a name I haven't heard since I cut all your dad's limbs off.
Old Ben. That's the name I haven't heard.
I haven't told you this yet, but me and Sasha got a leaflet through our door, and it was for Christians and Jesus and that lot. But the picture they've got on it looks like Jesus is sat round in a pub, just surrounded by his mates, like he's telling a
Is it the
story.
Watchtower? The Jehovah's thing?
Yeah,
He's
I
in
think
a
so.
he's in a watchtower.
And he's just sat around, and he's got all his mates round, and it looks like he's telling a story, but he looks like Ewan McGregor. And so when I picked it up, I showed Sasha, and I went, so I told him, you can't make this jump, and he said, you underestimate my power. And then I got all his legs off.
Did you hear the other day at work when we were talking about hemorrhoids? And I said, these aren't the hemorrhoids you're looking for. Oh, we're so weird.
Yeah. So come on, ask some questions regarding Lord of the Rings.
What, like a quiz or just like what's your favourite?
Yeah, just...
Who would you want to fuck the most out of the dudes?
It's Arwen, isn't it? Out of the dudes.
Yeah, if you had to fuck a dude in Lord of the Rings.
Legolas.
Well, Viggo Mortensen's son is in there, so...
So's Peter Jackson's kid.
Yeah.
Legolas. From behind.
Okay.
Probably a woman.
I'm going to go with like...
Elves are probably the most hygienic.
Yeah, I'd definitely be an elf. Like probably like Lee Pace, who's the...
Oh, is that the guy who's the leader of the ones on the tower?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the one from Hobbit.
Yeah. He's also on the top of... he brings his soldiers along to fight at Helm's Deep, doesn't he?
No, that's my name.
No. I'm on... in The Hobbit, the king of the forest.
Okay, yeah. Isn't he the guy who brings his soldiers...
No, it's a different...
Oh, okay.
No, that's
what I was
Hallodir.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I suppose we should say the girls as well.
Why?
Okay, Ben. Out of all the girls in Lord of the Rings, or women, should I say?
Yeah.
All those many, many women in the Lord of the Rings
It would
movies.
be Samwise's woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The one in the pub.
Was it Rosie?
Rosie, maybe.
Yeah.
Rosie Cotton
Yeah.
Dance.
I'd say either her or it's going to be Arwen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always Arwen.
Although Galadriel's not bad.
I mean, how did Steven Tyler produce
that?
Well, on him, like his gob looks horrifying. But on her, you could fit a lot in that gob. But I like Evangeline Lilly, sexy, like
In The Hobbit.
yeah.
Yeah. See, when Lost first came out, I was proper into her, but she just
you were
kind of
lost in her.
Yeah. But then Sawyer came along, as I know. Forget you, lady. Yeah, I just she lost all her charm for me.
Really?
She's still pretty, but I think she's too kind. Like Arwen's got a sword, and you know she's gonna she's got an angry edge.
She did do a advert for Late Night Chat.
Who, Evangeline Lilly?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's late night chat?
Like where, you know, like girls are on the sofa and go, call me now, and for a chat and stuff like that.
What, before she was famous?
Before she was famous.
Not like afterwards.
No,
like,
not after. She doesn't do it now.
Imagine they should get her on it now. The rain, like there's so many people cool.
Yeah, but she did one of those where she's just sat on the sofa and she was like, call me and we can talk for hours.
Was that on YouTube or something? Can you see that?
No, I was watching, it is on YouTube. I was watching a channel called Screen Junkies, who do all the honest trailers.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen them. They were doing it before they were famous and she was on them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Joe and Silent Bob are on Screen Junkies now. Have their own show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where they open up like toys and not toys.
Not sex toys.
Not sex toys.
Because there's an
They
episode of
talk a
their
lot about
podcast
sex
where
toys.
they
Yes,
did that.
but they talk about like different toys and stuff like that. Because they usually have The Rock on there as well. Because like he's a friend of one of the Screen Junkies. Like he helped him get married and stuff like that. Set up his wedding.
That's cool.
Really weird.
Kevin Smith's also like an ordained minister or something like through an online thing, so he could actually marry us, all three of us.
All three of us together. I've only just met you, Ben, but I think this is.
This we go, and here he is tonight.
He's right on
New
time.
Jersey, yeah.
I wonder if Ben knows about the upcoming Super Duper edition of the Lord of the Rings films.
Oh.
With extra Wookiees.
Extra Wookiees, yeah. CGI,
So many
AT-ATs in
Wookiees.
the background.
Yeah, the 20th year anniversary.
It's been 20 years.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. It'll be 2021
Mm.
when it comes out. The 20th. It's got like something like an extra 10 hours.
Is it extra
Because-
material that they
No.
Because the extended edition wasn't extended enough.
There's more walking.
Imagine people who have done that marathon of watching all of them. They just got the Hobbits just come out. They've just watched all the Hobbits and all the Lord of the Rings. Go, we've done it, and they go, and now we've released 5 more hours of film for you.
We've filmed
I-
anal scenes between
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
character.
I can do it with the Lord of the Rings. Like I can watch extended editions, but I can't watch
No.
the third Hobbit film again.
I thought
That's
of all
all.
the Hobbit films, it's the only one I enjoyed.
Really?
Because I thought the battle scene at the end was amazing.
I
I like the
hated
second
it.
one.
I didn't like any of them, really.
I like scenes in them.
Yeah, they've overdone it. It's a small book.
Like in the first one, with the scene with Bilbo and Gollum, where Riddle's in the dark. That was exactly how I imagined it in the
you're
book.
right, yeah.
In the second one with the spiders,
What
they
about-
were done really well. And the scene with Smaug and Bilbo.
Yeah.
What about the barrels?
And the barrel, that was okay. They overdid it a bit.
That was mental.
Legolas didn't need to be there
No,
yeah,
he
he was
didn't.
never in
at
there.
all.
Jumping about on the barrels.
Her
shooting
character,
shit.
Evangeline Lilly's character wasn't in the book.
No, she weren't there either. And the whole love story thing they got going was a bit...
This is the thing, because when I read the book, I read it before before Lord of the Rings, but I like the book. It's only a small book.
I love that
I read
book.
it, yeah, and it's really
I've
good. It's a
read
good
that
story,
one,
but it's not an epic story. It's a good
No.
story, but they've turned it into three. They've tried to make it as epic as Lord of the Rings, which is impossible.
Because they added on the appendices and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like and bits from the Silmarillion possibly,
Mm.
which is the like sort of creation Bible sort of extra
yeah.
stories about the world.
We're going
But-
to get a new trilogy in like 5 or 10 years' time where like, we found this piece of toilet paper that Tolkien shit on.
Yeah.
And from that, we've,
Yeah.
we've written this whole
Yeah.
new trilogy.
I hated the third Hobbit film. One, because of Alfred. What a character that went nowhere.
You're thinking of Batman.
Yeah. I was gonna
No.
say that. Yeah.
You know, the guy who was...
The guy who dies, who's with the elf.
No, you
With,
know...
with
the,
Stephen Fry.
The guy who's with Stephen Fry.
Oh, the like scumbag little.
Yeah, this character that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
He gets way too much screen time.
What was Stephen
Good for-
Fry's character?
He was like the mayor of the town.
He
wasn't
was
he, or
the
something?
he was the Lord of Lake Town.
We should have got. They should have got Michael Caine in to play Alfred for that as well.
in a suit.
Yeah.
But
what do
like-
we do when Smaug
Yeah.
drops our
Connolly.
stats?
They wasted Billy Connolly. Wasted Billy Connolly and just did him CG instead. Billy fucking Connolly.
He's old now and he's like quite
I know,
ill.
but
He's quite ill. Isn't
honestly,
he?
I wish they'd gone for the first choice, which was Brian Blessed. Brian
Yeah.
Blessed would have been perfect.
Yeah. I thought the battle at the end was so good though.
Yeah, it
I
was.
thought the battle was so
Especially in the
well
high
watched.
frame rate. That shit's
And I just
crazy.
don't understand why the orcs use those massive worms to tunnel holes so the army could get through. Use the fucking worms to tunnel into the mountain? Maybe? You're a genius,
Maybe.
Azog. You know, make it work. And then Legolas doing all these fucking kung fu.
That's probably why they got him in, though, isn't it? The best thing about that film was seeing Orlando Bloom sing "They're Taking the Hobbit to Isengard" with the YouTube video of it as well. That was great. But yeah, it doesn't warrant 3 epic films.
No, absolutely not.
And they've overdone it so much.
Yeah.
And it looks different. It looks too cheesy, I find. And it's not serious as Lord of the Rings, is it? It's a bit more comical. The book's a bit more cheerful in general.
Yeah, the Hobbit is a much more cheerful.
It's more of a kid's book, isn't it? And it's like they don't need to do that. Although Martin Freeman's brilliant.
See, that's the thing. The only thing that they changed in...
And the other good thing was him doing that in all the red carpet scenes.
Yeah, he put his fingers up.
In all the cutscenes and all that.
The only thing I liked that they changed about the book but kept in the film was Manu Bennett, who played the Azog, the Pale Orc.
Okay.
Because Manu Bennett, I think, is a phenomenal actor.
What else has he
He's been in Arrow season 2.
I don't watch
He played Slade Wilson, who's Deathstroke. Do you know much about comic books?
Not really.
Deathstroke, does he like jack off till he dies?
Yes. And he was in Spartacus as well.
Dead people.
Yeah.
He's
what did you say? Spartacus, Blood and Sand?
Yeah.
Bald black guy. Really tall.
He's sugar. He's Crixus, the really good.
Did you just say old sugar?
Oh, sugar. Crixus, the guy who's really good in the arena, and Spartacus kind of replaces as being.
I only remember seeing the first couple of episodes.
He's got a really husky voice.
I just remember all the tips.
He's quite short, quite stocky, built, and he's got a really husky voice.
Oh, okay.
And he's sleeping with the woman who used to play Xena.
Oh yeah, who's with John Hannah?
Yeah.
And they've got their own fluffers who suck them off just before they have sex. Have you seen it?
No, I'm going to watch it.
It's basically, it's just like murder and tits and fanny, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how, it's called Spartacus Blood and Sand. The guy who played Spartacus died in real life,
Yeah,
didn't
he had leukemia.
Yeah, and he was only in his 30s?
Yeah, he was really young.
But I was watching it, and then when they changed it to a new one, is it God to the Arena or something like that?
Yeah.
And I saw he wasn't ill. I thought, I wonder what happened to him, so I just looked it up, and it's like, he died. I was like, shit. But it's basically about the story of Spartacus, or it's not Spartacus. The legend of Spartacus is in it, but it's just like a slave guy who's in
It's produced by Sam Raimi, so I'm interested.
Okay,
it's very good.
Lucy Lawless plays a Roman, rich sort of Roman, with John Hannah as her husband, and
she's married to either she's married to one of the producers of Evil Dead as well.
Okay, so that's pretty much the part. She's hotter than Xena in it, and it's like 10, 20 years on from Xena, and you see her like, you look better.
Yeah, because you know that elf you were talking about earlier, who goes to Helm's Deep. That's the bad guy in season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same actor.
Oh bloody hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you get Lucy Lawless to do like a front flip onto you and then go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if her metal armour crushed my balls.
Yeah, worth it. Totally worth it.
But in this, she plays like this kind of noble family sort of thing, isn't it? And John Hannah's her husband, and because they're weird, aren't they? But they're kind of rich and spoiled and a bit up themselves. But
they're like new money, aren't they?
Yeah. They have slaves to basically as fluffers for them. Before they have sex with each other, they have slaves and slaves to suck each other off or pleasure themselves. So when they're all moist or hard, they then shag each other. It's like they can't be asked to do their own foreplay.
You've got to get me one of those.
Yeah. Here we are. This is an audition.
That's why I'm here.
You
can be the Lord of our Rings.
Yeah. See,
and look at our 2 towers.
The other seasons of Spartacus are really good as well.
Yeah.
Even though they replaced him, he isn't as good as the original guy who plays Spartacus, but he's still...
Is he still the same part, or is he a different character?
Same part.
Okay.
They kept the same part.
Should we call this episode I Am Scotticus?
Because it's got... what's his bloody name? The really terrible actor who was in Terminator Genesis.
Jai Courtney?
Jai Courtney, he's in there as well.
Oh, okay.
You know the blonde guy, his best friend?
Yeah.
He has to kill. That's Jai Courtney.
Okay.
It was like, Jai Courtney was in something
good. Does he
good.
show mercy?
Eh?
Does he kill him, or does he show mercy? In the
they have to fight each other, not to the death, so they think for this kid's birthday, and then the kid...
Farron's birthday.
Yeah, and then the kid chooses that one of them has to die, and so he doesn't want to kill his best friend, but Jai Courtney grabs the blade that's his, and then busts it into his shoulder.
And then the blade.
And then the blade. A bit of shoulder cock.
Oh. Would anyone like to try some of this whiskey?
I haven't even touched half of that rum yet.
Have you not?
No.
I finished mine ages ago.
This very much looks like...
That's your initiation rum. That's from the
gotta drink it.
That's from the previous episode, which we recorded 2 weeks ago. I can't believe you still got it.
Does that look like Farron's just literally put stickers in his printer and it's gone onto Microsoft Publisher?
It doesn't help that it looks like watery piss as
It
well.
does, yeah. I'm going to decline.
I watered down my piss, so it wouldn't be so
decline.
obvious. Honestly, it's really good. It's when Rose and I went to Brighton, there was a whiskey shop.
We put
we
put a bowl under the bed.
And we had many homosexual men come in.
Did you do a Preston Lacey sweatsuit sort of thing?
Mm.
Do you know what? Have you seen Jackass 3?
Yeah.
You know that scene where he does the sweatsuit?
Mm-hmm.
I was back at my mum's house. Rachel and me went back down to visit, and Rachel was asleep. It was really late at night, and I streamed that film. And I was sat there on the end of the bed watching it, laughed so much that I woke her up. Like, I was shaking with laughter, and I was there just watching it. And that happened, and I almost vomited on myself. Like, I was heaving. I was I was trying to not wake her up laughing. Then I was trying to not wake her up by throwing up over her. Because I was like. And I was like, I had to watch it, but I'm going to throw up. And that was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
She wakes up laughing and vomiting on her.
That was actually the second film that me and Sasha ever went to see. At cinema in 3D. It was so good.
So yeah, if you'd like to try some of that, we got it in Brighton in a whiskey shop, and I think it was about a tenner or maybe even 15 quid for just that small amount. Scott's still struggling with the rum.
I feel bad taking it if it's...
I'm not giving you it all.
Pour me a little bit.
No, you pour yourself a little bit. Just don't finish it so I can still taste a bit before it's gone.
That's nice. That's really nice. Bit of chocolate in there.
Is there?
I just made that a bit. That's good, didn't it? That's nice.
That wasn't chocolate.
Yeah, it doesn't taste it.
It looked like chocolate.
It doesn't really taste like any whiskey. It's got whiskey taste, but it's not really whiskey. It's more
it's very easy to drink,
sweet.
isn't it?
It's really sweet and light. That's nice. Do you know what it is as well? That colour, I had a whiskey. You know that little whiskey I gave you?
Oh, yeah.
A sip of? It's same sort of stuff, like not much colouring in it. And it just, that's good.
So, yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We've not gone off track at all.
You realise we'll cut this whole thing to you going, I like Two Towers, and me going, I like The Fellowship.
Yeah. Interesting facts about Lord of the Rings. What interesting facts have you got?
We've talked previously about the Sean Connery fact that he was offered like a massive amount of the box office if he was going to be in it.
Much like Kenny Baker did for R2-D2. And he took it. He got rich as fuck.
I know what's interesting. What was your Christmas present from me and why?
Was it his ring?
What was my Christmas present from you?
What is your nickname? Or what was your nickname at the time at work?
I honestly can't remember.
It involved sucking dick. Does that narrow it down at all?
Did it involve it 100%? Was that the present?
100%? What?
Did it involve sucking dick 100%?
That was...
Yeah.
That wasn't the present, though.
I can't remember. Oh, wait, yeah, it was the Gobbling King. But not Gobbling King. Gobbling King. And Farron for Christmas bought me a Gobbling King plushie. And I've still got it, and it's still amazing.
It's because for a couple of months leading up to it, you used to turn to me and say, I'm the Gobbling King and I'm going to suck your dick.
Is that the guy? Is this the guy?
Yeah.
I'm the guy. I'm that guy. Oh.
I'm the Gobbling King.
I think one of my favourite interesting facts is you can still see the scene in the Two Towers where Aragorn breaks his toe, where Viggo Mortensen breaks his toe on camera.
Yeah.
And it's when they found the burning pile of corpses and they think the hobbits are in there, and then he kicks the helmet.
Yeah.
It had been something like the 12th time he'd had to kick that helmet.
Yeah.
And he broke his toe, which is why he yells, where he goes, ah! He drops to his knees. But he kept on acting.
Yeah.
And they kept on rolling until afterwards. And then that's when he kind of limped up to Peter Jackson and went, I broke my toe. And he also chipped his tooth at Helm's Deep and wanted to carry on.
Yeah.
But they said he couldn't because he
awesome.
had to go get dentistry.
I like things like that in films.
Yeah.
Apparently there's...
I was just going to say, what's Viggo been in since?
Eastern Promises?
Yeah, that was good.
He did Hidalgo, didn't he, straight after, but that didn't do very well.
No.
I love him in
The
Prophecy.
I don't know who it is.
That's
History of Violence is great.
They're both Cronenberg, that and Decent Promises.
Christopher Walken as Gabriel, the angel, and he's basically just a bit of a bastard. And then the devil shows up at the end, and it's Viggo Mortensen, and it's one of the best interpretations of the devil I've ever seen on
That's
film.
cool.
He's very good at it. Like, he plays it so calm and collected, and
He was in a really good film where he played Sigmund Freud.
he was also in Daylight with Sylvester Stallone.
Was he?
What the fuck, really?
Yeah. You know the guy who tries to climb out and then it collapses on him?
Yeah.
That's Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, shit. I'd watch that again just to see.
Farron was in that. He played the tunnel.
They all went inside me.
Yeah.
There's no escaping that tunnel.
I was also in Inner Space for a very similar reason.
You know what you said about actors carrying on?
Yeah.
I don't know how true it is, but I heard in Django Unchained, when Leo slams down on the table and bleeds, that's real blood.
Yeah, it's real blood.
And when he grabs the woman's face and all that, it's all real blood, and she played along.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll be thinking, I want an AIDS test, I want an AIDS test. Even though it's Leo. And
Yeah, he got a round of applause after filming that from the whole cast and crew, because he actually
cut his hand up and all that.
Yeah.
And just carried on.
It's great in The Lord of the Rings, because you know where Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli are all running around the hills? Well, Viggo Mortensen had a broken toe. Orlando Bloom had broke his rib from a horse riding accident, and the stunt double for Gimli, I think he'd bust his leg or something like that. So they were like, run, and they were like, I don't want to anymore. It hurts. Because apparently Peter Jackson was like a bit of a bastard when it came to stuff like that. Because he was like, film is forever, pain is temporary. And he did it to the woman who plays Eowyn, because she had to do when she's fighting the Witch King, which was a big New Zealand guy with a huge mace who's constantly smacking her.
Yeah.
And apparently she was like knackered, and he was knackered, and they'd been doing it for hours. But Peter Jackson was like, again.
That sounds like Kubrick apparently was like that. Just
so apparently like they were absolutely shattered, and he just didn't give a shit.
Maybe that's why the new trilogy wasn't as good, because they have too many regulations in place to stop him from torturing people.
What I don't get is he did Braindead. And who looks at him and goes, "You're the man to direct this multi-million-dollar project."
I mean, there wasn't much in between.
What else did he do in between?
Heavenly Creatures, and The Frighteners.
Were they both low budget?
The Frighteners was like a medium budget comedy horror with Michael J. Fox.
It's a really weird choice though, isn't it, to get him to do it?
But it was him who pursued to do it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, did he want to start the project?
Yeah, him and Philippa Boyens, who's one of the writers.
Is it Wingnut? Is that their company? Is that
and no, it's Weta, isn't it?
Both of them, I think.
Wingnut and Weta, yeah, because they wanted to start it up, so they went around all the different studios. They got loads of concept drawings.
So he actually decided. So it wasn't like they wanted to do a project and they got him in. He actually started it.
No, he started it, and they went round to loads of studios, and all the studios were like, "So yeah, 2 films, right? You could do this in 2 films, or maybe 1 film." And he was like, "No, we can't." And they were like, "Yeah, you can." And then like he turned up to New Line. And like after all that, he went, "Yeah, so we're thinking maybe 2 films, 2 long films." And then they went, "No, it's a trilogy." Fucking act together, Jackson. What are you doing? So, yeah.
One thing I was going to say, by the way, Brett from Flight of the Conchords is in Lord of the Rings.
Is he?
Yeah, he's one of the elves.
Is he in Fellowship, and he's in one of the Hobbit films as well?
Yeah,
Maybe he to reprise the same character.
And it's weird, they show clips of it, it's like, fucking hell, he's in it. But I'll say, apparently, because he did his own special effects stuff, like you said about Massive, it must be that sort of stuff. But he had his own special effects, and someone who I know who's like, I think he did some sort of graphic design thing, he said he had to study it, but what they do is a lot of people, when they do it, they develop, on their program they develop it over years, so they add to it, like Pixar and all that.
Yeah, Pixar bought Massive.
Okay, but apparently the water... so you know, water is quite hard to do, and apparently the only thing that doesn't let it down that you can kind of tell is kind of out of place apparently in the Lord of the Rings film is the water effects, because he started it basically when he made the film, whereas everyone else for years and years, decades, have been building up their water effect thing to add to it, and his one was from scratch, so apparently it's the only thing that doesn't look up to the part. But I don't know how true that is.
That's why they did a lot of the water effects using real water. Okay. Like, you know, when the dam breaks, that's a bigature that they filmed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How big are these things they do?
They're huge.
They're the size of like a massive room, aren't they?
Yeah. They're like...
Whereas
I think the Tower of Orthanc was something like 12 foot tall.
Normal miniatures you will have on a medium to big size table.
Yeah.
But yeah, they like fill massive rooms.
But the detail on them is incredible. The only scene you can really tell it in is when in the Two Towers the Black Gate opens, and it's a shot on the Black Gate, and you've got these orcs walking around. If you look at the actual gate itself, you can see the little rivets and stuff. So that's the only scene that you can really tell, except for the Gollum scenes, because there's some Gollum scenes where it just looks like they've just put a gravel floor behind him and a green screen. So, like, some of those are...
He's dancing to Gravel Pit by Wu-Tang.
I don't know, maybe I've watched those extras a bit too much.
I watched through all of those, and then I'm halfway through all of the Hobbit extras, which are also really good. Particularly, like, the making of the barrel scenes. Crazy how they did that.
Yeah, because they actually stuck them all in barrels, didn't they?
Yeah,
and then the next day, the whole river was flooded, so they couldn't do it again.
Yeah, but it was a like green screen barrel room they did.
Yeah,
which was crazy.
There's films like that where they do. You know, you said about the Two Towers and like how they kept them there for ages and like them doing that. And there's, you know, Apocalypse Now, when they made that, apparently they were there for months during filming, but they had to stop. You know, they used to just basically take drugs and get fucked up. And apparently the scene at the beginning where he's lying there and the fan's going round, and Michael Sheen, I say Charlie Sheen, that's Platoon. But when he's lying there on the bed and the fan's going round, apparently if you look on the bed he's like kind of spaced out. Apparently he was actually having a heart attack or something at the time. He was just like messed up. It's like they just like film it.
Talking to Charlie Sheen, do you obviously remember the whole winning thing?
Yeah.
Do you know what his new slogan is? Positively positive.
Is this a joke? Or?
No.
Well, he is.
But it's basically being positive about being positive. Wow. You can get a t-shirt. I might get a t-shirt. Do you remember that episode of South Park?
Don't get the disease.
Yeah. That's episode of South Park where they keep asking Cartman if he's sure, and he's like, yes, I'm HIV positive.
Have you seen the one with Jared? The Subway
Jared
guy?
has AIDS.
Yeah.
I don't think we're exhausted on Lord of the Rings.
I don't think we can be.
Well, let me know where you want to go next and I will tell you tales, my friend.
What about Christoph Waltz as Gandalf?
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
He'd be very smiley, sort of.
Yeah.
Talking about the lava pups. Have you seen the advert at the cinema for what is an actual advert for?
Clash of the Clans, isn't it?
Yeah, which is like
an online app.
Yeah.
And it's Christopher Waltz and it's lava pops.
Yeah. and he's basically telling James Corden a bedtime story.
Yeah.
But he's so awesome, Christoph Waltz.
I love Christoph Waltz.
I started rewatching Inglourious Bastards. Because I watched that obviously. Then you see him in Django, and he's like the opposite.
Yeah.
And then you watch Inglourious Bastards, you're a horrible man.
Yeah.
You're so and just that's
a bingo. I love that scene.
When when he's talking about the milk and stuff, when he meets her again in the restaurant, and she gets taken because of the screening, and he sits there and he's back in, and just when he sits down, and he goes, "Oh, I'll have milk," he knows who she is. It's so scary. He doesn't mention it. Yeah. It's so scary.
See, my mum hates Tarantino movies, but I was like, no, watch this. This is fucking amazing. And she was totally gripped by that opening bit with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
And how calm he is and polite and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a really good actor.
Yeah.
It's weird. I didn't know him in anything else before the Tarantino stuff.
Because he's been, I think he was an actor since like the early 90s or something.
But he seems to be one of the actors who's found kind of mega fame in his like sort of not older age. I don't know how old he is. But
I think he's
in his
late
50s?
Late 50s, I think.
Yeah. I haven't seen the Bond film with him in Spectre.
See, I feel like
I've heard that film shit. Everyone said it's pretty much a letdown.
I don't think it's shit, but I think it should have been 2 movies because it just seems like action scene after action scene after action scene.
I felt like it shouldn't have been Daniel Craig.
Really?
Because you could tell he didn't want to do it. Because he didn't want to do it. He said he'd rather kill himself than do another Bond movie. And he felt
sell out.
He felt like that during Spectre.
So who would you have cast instead?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, I think he'd be amazing.
I think
Bond.
Idris Elba
He'd be
or Tom
Bond.
Hiddleston. Because you mentioned this.
Tom Hiddleston as Bond. Do you know what would be funny about that? The fact that Bond in the books was like a massive like homophobe.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And imagine having Tom Hiddleston play like gay guy play Bond. That'd feel like the final nail in the coffin.
Is he?
Who? Hiddleston?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gay, isn't he? Well,
I'm not sure.
The other one is Aidan Turner, which brings us back to Lord of the Rings.
Well, he fucked me like a gay guy.
Huh?
He fucked me like a gay guy.
I can't see Aidan Turner because he's too
young.
Turner.
He plays Killy in The Hobbit.
Is he the one who goes with the elf?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And he was in Being Human and City of Bones.
Mm.
I can't see, but Idris Elba's so...
He's good for it, I think.
Who?
Idris Elba.
I think he's brilliant for it. I think his voice is...
Do you watch
phenomenal.
Luther?
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. Do you watch Luther?
No, I've only seen
Yeah,
Idris
brilliant.
Elba
Absolutely.
in...
But I think he could do... Because Idris... Yeah.
I've seen him in Thor and I've seen him in
Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pacific Rim.
He's also in...
Which brings us back to Guillermo del Toro, which brings us back to The Hobbit. Yes.
Gone full circle. I think Del Toro would have been better
Do you?
than The Hobbit.
What was he going to direct it?
with
He was going to
He
direct
did put a lot of his
Did
ideas
Peter
into
Jackson
it.
direct it?
He did in the end because he took
This
it off
is
him,
Okay.
which was...
With his like Pan's Labyrinth and like kind of like weird mystical like Wonderland, it could have worked with The Hobbit.
I think
Didn't
it
he
would have
leave
been
because it was going on too long? And he was like, fuck's sake, this is
No,
taking ages.
he left because Peter Jackson came in and made it his own. As he
Right.
did. He basically forced Del Toro out. Obviously, they'll never say that, but he pretty much did.
Really? Because the official word is that it was going on, delays were going on. For
I know
too
there
long.
was a lot of delays, and then they said, oh, it's going to be 3 films. Because when Del Toro did it, it was going to be 2.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of it as well. Is he
Yeah.
still wanted it to be 2, but Warner Brothers wanted it to be 3.
Because
So-
more cash involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just doubled
I
the
love
budget.
Benedict Cumberbatch in The
Yeah.
Hobbit. As
Have you seen
Miles.
the special features of him acting Smaug out?
Yeah.
He did it full on acting him out, not
Yeah.
just like in a sound booth. He's crawling around.
Yeah, you can tell he'd been working with Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis had basically gone, no.
Yeah.
Act it out.
Yeah.
Get down on all fours and act out.
Did
that
they
fucking
didn't do
game.
a thing for him though? I'm guessing any sort of like motion capture
Yeah,
for Smaug? Did they?
yeah.
Ah.
It's all motion capture.
Oh, really?
The movements of his mouth and everything.
Yeah.
I
is-
didn't even
He got
know
his
that.
long tail out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was all scaly.
yeah. Yeah, that was all motion capture.
I never realised that. That's mad.
And I love that it's Sherlock and Watson. from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Because they're going to be in Marvel films together.
Are
as
they?
well.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
What have they been?
Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange, which is coming out later this
Oh,
year.
I heard about this. Yeah.
And Morgan
Morgan
Not
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Martin Freeman is playing.
Is it a shield agent or some?
It's something along those lines. He's just the guy who gets caught up in it, I think,
Yeah.
and then he becomes like a second.
Is that
in
Civil War?
I don't think he. I think he makes an appearance in Civil War.
Mm.
I think he works for Black Panther.
Is that Samuel L. Jackson?
No,
Is that what you call it?
he's my Black Panther.
He's so silky. What's everyone drinking?
Honey JD. Because I like it.
Is that just
silky
JD?
as
That you're
well.
referring to him as Honey?
Honey.
Honey?
Hey,
I'm
honey.
drinking JD.
Would you like to try some of that?
No, I'm going to stick with the honey because the last thing you gave me, I still haven't finished and it's killing me.
Okay. When I went to my mum's last weekend, I actually brought back the Lord of the Rings collection that I read.
I saw that earlier
Oh.
and I was
That's cool.
It's quite cool.
impressed.
That's like the original covers.
Mm. See, read all through once and no bends on the spines at all.
No bends.
No bends on the spines. Because I have
God
a
damn it, Ben,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
off my spine!
Because I have a thing about if you read a book, you can still read it without bending the spine. Because it still should be perfect. And people don't get that. People will pick a book out of the library or a bookshop and just fucking bend it open. Bend the bender.
I am one to do that. My books are in poor states.
No, the only reason that...
But that's because I'm engrossed in them. I don't think about the cover. I'm just like, next page.
No, if any of mine are like that, that's because I bought them that
I
way.
feel that if I open the book not enough, I'm not going to be able to see the page without comfortably reading it. I'll just be like peeking into it. So I just like rip it open.
So that is the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings collection.
Which I think The Hobbit is the best
Yeah.
book.
It's most contained.
Yeah.
It's good.
Because it's physically one book.
Yeah.
There's so much that happens.
Yeah, and it keeps going. There's no like he drifts off a bit. I mean, I don't mind it, but he does drift off
Yeah,
a
in the
bit.
Lord of the Rings trilogy, I suppose
But he was on drugs, wasn't he?
he spent
when he
2
wrote it?
pages describing a deer on a mountain top.
Mm.
And
There's a bit in one of the books, I think it might be in Two Towers, where he's talked about all these things like that, all this scenery. Then all of a sudden he says something like the bastards of abomination. And as a kid, and I was reading through some of the books with the word bastard, I was like, Swear word. Have I misread? Have I got the Lord of the Rings? Just seems so out of place.
And then Gandalf said, "Shove it up your cunt."
Yeah.
Take this ring and shove it up your man cunt.
And that's when I realised it wasn't Lord of the Rings. Gandalf the gay.
Yeah.
It was Lord of the Rings, but it wasn't Lord of the Rings.
And then when he's finished, he's Gandalf the White because he's just coated in.
Well, that's another fantastic scene as well, isn't it? Where Gandalf
When he fucks
where Gandalf bends the Balrog over and then throws him off a bridge.
Yeah.
You shall not pass anything out of your ass without feeling pain again.
And then the Balrog whips it. He does like a good whip around the ankle. Again.
Just pops his staff in someone and says, "Keep it secret, keep it safe." Clench. I wonder if that's enough for an episode.
What have you got on your notepad?
Oh, I've also written the phrase "punching prolapses" back in.
We've already got that.
We've already done that, yeah.
We have done that.
Have we talked about biting prolapses?
No.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Just to bring us back to Lord of the Rings.
It's crossing it off.
Oh dear. Fuck.